we're going to give it a couple minutes and let some people get in before we get going. Hi, Seven. Mr. Silver Eagle, welcome. Thank you. I try. I'm still learning. Yeah, little tricks here and there. Actually got it to work tonight the way I thought it was supposed to. I know the first time I did one of these, nothing went right at all. So I'm learning. I must be doing something right. So, let's see. Oh, well, I'm waiting for a few more to pop in. Yeah, I'm not just a stacker. I'm a collector, and when I was a kid, they, if you had well, we called them all silver dollars back then because as kids we didn't know the difference between silver and clad and all that. So if you had an Ike in your hand, you were you had a silver dollar, and you were the coolest kid on the block if you had a silver dollar in your pocket. And if I only knew then what I know now, I would have been paying a little more attention to what kind of silver, quote unquote silver dollars I had in my pocket. But I'm these are clad, but I just got a whole bunch more, so I'm almost done filling up a tube of Ikes. And yeah, they're not silver, they're clad, but I just they were cool when I was a kid, and they're yeah, 007 mine too. That's especially, and even now, because they're not in it. The only ones in existence are the ones that people have put away and then sold, or you get those ones where, and especially at the branch of my bank that I go to, we get a lot of collection dumps, and very underappreciated. Yeah, I mean this, those are good, hefty. Uh, that was a lot of bubble gum in the day. Yeah, you're not kidding. That's, uh, I mean, I remember, you know, going out to, hang out with the guys, and I remember, going to hang out with the guys, and mom would give me $1 and I could go get a bottle of Coke and a candy bar, or a bag of chips and have change left. I mean, heck, you can't even, you can't buy anything for $1 nowadays. No, I mean, we thought the world was coming to an end when a 35-cent candy bar went up to 50 cents. So, but yeah, that was just something cool that came today. Uh, you know, got a pretty good deal on them from one of my places and whatnot that I buy from. Uh, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I got a couple other things from them too. I'm gonna do a video about for tomorrow. A couple of pretty small pieces of silver, but you know, they kind of fit two bills for me. They're silver and they're, you know, actually what was circulated foreign currency or foreign coins back in the day. So, but like I said this morning in my video, I get something out of the way real quick, and from what I can see, it's not anybody that's here watching right now, but I gotta send a huge shout out to Tuli Tuli. I want to give you on her live stream a week ago yesterday. Yeah, it was a week ago yesterday. And I showcased what, you know, my prize a couple days ago. And somebody had to get in the comments and, you know, pardon my French, had to be a smartass. And I've laid out what I have of my hand poured stuff here. And I just want to make sure that, you know, not just me typing something on, you know, in the comments. Anybody that takes the time and the energy and puts the effort into making something, I don't care what it's made out of. You know, it's to me, it's, and I've said this before. You know, to me, I mean, I consider it a work of art. You know, if I'm sitting here with this laid out here, and it looks like I've got a bunch of, you know, a bunch of silver here and some copper stuff. Each of these hand poured. But can you tell me, if you didn't already know, could you tell me what piece, other than the copper, what piece in this isn't silver? And my question is probably not. But there is a all right, Vegas, thanks, my friends. Thanks for popping in. Pocket change inspector, yes. Pull tabs. This right here, this is one that was also done by Thule. That was made from the pull tabs or whatever they call them nowadays from the pop cans. Okay, she took garbage and turned that into art, and she thought enough to send me one. And you know what? This, to me, in my mind, is just as valuable as anything else. Mr. and Mrs. West Texas, hi, welcome. This is just as important to me as any of those silver pieces over there. Okay. Because, again, she took the time and the effort to make this, you know, and, you know, melt everything down, put up with the god-awful smells that aluminum give off. And yes, pocket change inspector, exactly. But somebody had something smart to say in the comments about this because, oh, you know, I wish I could get excited about a piece of copper. You know what? I could care less what it's made out of. It was something that somebody took the time to make, and I treasure that just as much as any piece of silver or gold or, you know, palladium, platinum, whatever. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I joke around about this piece quite a bit. But again, this is a gentleman that, you know, he makes a living with metals, you know, gold, silver. You know, when they you know, I'm probably going to use the wrong term. When they smelt everything out for the silver to purify the silver, they end up with you know, quite a large quantity of copper. Okay, do something productive with it. Okay, again, it's another thing I consider a, you know, a piece of art. You know, same thing with our guy here. You know, he does phenomenal work. But I was a little irritated by the comment. I tried to keep it clean. exactly. And I feel bad that um exactly, Seven. Exactly. You guys are all hitting the nail on the head. I wanted to come on, wanted as part of this live to just make sure Thule knows how much I appreciate that she put put all the time and effort into this as she did, and that I appreciate receiving these, and they will be sitting in my stack just as being held just as high as you know the silver and everything else. So 007 exactly. Yeah, exactly, and that's what I try to do. I do my best. Uh, and like I said, I just it kind of upset me a little bit. And I tried to keep it clean in the reply that I made, and Tully commented on it too, and I just everybody in this community, I've got your back, but I won't tolerate you know people going after people. Asset Stacker, welcome, welcome. So now that I've gotten that out of my system, um, I don't know how many of you follow Culture or Currency, but he is doing a series of videos now about the 90% silver uh, state quarters, and his first one was on the Michigan quarter. And I think he did a really cool job. I shared it in a community post. So if you guys get a chance, go over and check it out. Um, yeah, I've got a couple of them. I've got a slabbed one too. I didn't pull that one out tonight, but I've got a couple of them. Just in capsules that I got one. I received one from Tar Heel Stacker, and I already had one, and then the slabbed one, but. See, I love those quarters. I'm very proud of my home state. Um, and he, like I say, he did a really good job. Not just showcasing the quarter, but the state, and a little bit of the history of the state of Michigan. And there for a long time we were the auto capital of the world, and they kind of kicked us to the curb. You know what? I don't remember. I've got to go back and look in the it's probably in his channel description. But like I said, I'm not sure. I got my laptop's got a mind of its own, so I don't even have that on tonight. I'm doing everything off my phone tonight. Um, but yeah, it's I'm proud of my home state. I was actually kind of giddy when I saw the video there. As I was scrolling through. So we've got a beautiful state. Lots of everybody when they hear Michigan, the first thing they think of is Detroit, and Detroit's like any other big city. They got their problems. They've got good, they got bad, they got ugly. Um, I was born and raised in Detroit. But you know, we we're the kind of people where we try to support each other. Uh we're kind of hard on our sports teams. We're used to winning, and I mean, I've been fortunate enough to. They've got 8 Mile. They've got the 8 Mile. 8 Mile is very overrated. Let me tell you. Um, it's 8 Mile is basically the county line. If you go as far east as you can go, 8 Mile is the county line between Wayne and Macomb County. And I'm next to St. Louis. I get it. Yeah. Uh, and then as you start heading west, it's the county line between Wayne and Oakland County. Uh, But yeah, everybody taught, that ever saw the movie. Oh, hey, 8 Mile, Eminem. Eminem's not from Detroit. Everybody hate to ruin it for anybody. Eminem is not from Detroit. He lived in Warren. Granted, he was only about 150 feet into Warren. He could look out his front window and see Detroit, but he didn't grow up in Detroit. And not trying to do the spoiler thing. Yes, Bob Seger is from Detroit. Yes, he is, and he's very proud of it. Um, yeah, Seger's from Detroit. Um, we have Motown. A lot of the Motown artists. My mom actually went to high school with Diana Ross at Cass Tech. Uh, and oh yeah, Uncle Bob. I mean, there's nothing like it. He's good people and very down to earth too. He's not he's not one of those. Look at me, I'm famous and I'm rich. Bow to me. He doesn't roll that way. He's a very 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 down to earth guy. Um, but yeah, that movie 8 Mile. I don't know. They filmed a lot of that at the old Michigan Central Depot, which was just a very huge, very beautiful building at one time. It was the like the big train station, kind of like Penn Station or you know, uh, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the. I'm drawing a blank now. The big train station in New York City. Um, but yeah, and it they closed it and it went into ruin there for a while. And fortunately, some of the big three automakers, especially Ford Motor Company, and I'm not trying to plug any particular manufacturer, but Ford Motor Company bought the old train station, spent millions and millions of dollars. They pretty much gutted this building. If you've ever seen in my community posts, I did a picture that says, MichiStacker, uh, uh, established 2024, and there's this big tall building behind uh, Mini Michi, behind this guy. There's a really big multi-story building behind him, and I got silver coins and stuff all around it and all that. That building is the old Michigan Central Depot or Michigan Central train station. They had a big to do here. Oh gosh, a couple months ago. Eminem planned and handled the whole thing. He set up the acts, everything for this thing. Phenomenal job. I'm not his biggest fan, but he did a phenomenal job on that. Uh, and now Ford Motor Company has reopened the building. They've got places moving into office space upstairs, and you can take tours on the weekend. And the pictures I've seen, they pretty much brought it back to what it was, back in the old days. But they did a lot of filming in there. All the rap battles were filmed at the train station, and there was a scene there where one of his buddies got shot. That was the old North Detroit General and Hamtramck. Uh, and then, but yeah, he lived in a trailer park that sits back about 150, 200 feet off of 8 Mile on the Warren side of 8 Mile. So, but and you know, there's plenty of shady stuff that has taken place along 8 Mile Road over the years. Uh, but no, Detroit, it's on a comeback. I'm not the biggest fan of the mayor. He has done some good things for the city, but like I said, I'm not his biggest fan because there's a lot more that he could be doing that he's not. Um, but we've got one of the premier. Everybody talks about when they go to big cities, they want to go to the zoo, and The Detroit Zoo, it's there. It could use some updating or something new, but it's there and it's doing pretty well. Since the city released it to private foundation that runs it now. Um, we've got quite the ethnic. If you like ethnic food, that Detroit's a good place for that. You've got Mexican Town right near the Ambassador Bridge, which is one of our major border crossings between the U.S. and Canada. If you like real Mexican food, and I'm not talking Taco Bell, Del Taco, Taco John's, or anything like that, that's the place to go for the real stuff. Um, we've got, like I said, we've got our four major sports teams, and several years ago they finally got the Lions to come back to the city. They were out in Pontiac. They're in downtown, right next to the Tigers, and then across the street and across the freeway from them, you've got the Pistons and the Red Wings playing. And they share the arena there. You've got the theater district right there, same area. Mike Ilitch, who if you know about Little Caesars Pizza, Mike Ilitch, who was the founder of Little Caesars back when it was still decent pizza, um, he wanted his little kingdom down there. He bought the Red Wings back in the early '80s and turned them around, and he then because he was a baseball player. He played in the minors, never made it to the majors, but he played in the minors, and he eventually bought the Tigers and got them to two World Series appearances, even though we lost both of them. But that was more than we had seen since 1984. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us, and things have taken a downward spiral again because the kids are running the show now. But excuse me. But we've got our major sports teams. We've got entertainment. We've got you know and we've got and then getting out of Detroit. We've got we've got Frankenmuth, which is kind of cool. It's like a little Bavaria, USA. Uh, it's kind of touristy, but they got a lot of old world shops. They've got one of the coolest. If you like Christmas, oh sure, you pop in now that after I quit talking about you. Hi, Thule. Nothing bad. I just Tully, I put my 2 cents in about the snarky remarks somebody made on my video the other day about the copper button. I wanted to add my 2 cents in there and you know let you know that I got your back. I got your back, girl. I'm not tolerating people and their smart aleck remarks. I kind of said it a different way. And everybody, I apologize because I said the A double crooked letter word. I try to not talk that way. Um, but yeah, we've got so many great things in the state of Michigan, and culture, currency hit on some of that. And even I popped into Mr. and Mrs. I know, but you know what? Hey, I have that big brother thing in me where, and it's just, it's the way I've been my entire life. It's like, I'm going to puff him and go, hey, what was that? So, but no, I don't like my friends being, having people getting snarky about or at, uh, my friends and fellow YouTubers and stuff like that. We're supposed to be supporting each other, not, you know, being nasty. So, and Thule, I'm working on your, I got it marked so everybody knows what the cup's for. I'm working on my next shipment of goodies. um, and if any of you don't know what this is about, all goes back to this right here. That becomes that. That's why I said trash becomes treasure. Yeah. So, um, but yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff in Michigan, and I'm not trying to sound like the Convention and Visitors Bureau or the whatever for the state of Michigan, but uh, there's a show on PBS called Under the Radar Michigan, and I don't know how far out of Michigan they show that on PBS. You can find a lot of his videos on it. He posts a lot of his shows to YouTube, but this guy goes all over the state of Michigan, showcasing all the great stuff in our state. And he made a good point on one of his shows that people will spend thousands of dollars to go, for example, go out west to go skiing and see snow, or to see blue water, or they spend all this money to go see mountains. They go, they want to see sandy beaches. We've got all that right here in Michigan within, and then and the one time he said, everybody talks about, oh, it's the Upper Peninsula is so far away. Yeah, it's only depending on where you're coming from in the state. I mean, when I from where I live now, I think it's about 5.5 hours to the Mackinac Bridge, and then you go over the bridge and boom, you're in the Upper Peninsula. I mean, it's not that far away, but we have so much great stuff, and he did a good job of kind of showcasing some of that, and in industry, we've still got industry here. I mean, it's nothing like it used to be, but GM's back in the city. Ford is in the city. I don't know what's going on with Stellantis. Uh, they can't make up their mind whether they're doing good or doing bad. Um, but yeah, we've got a good state here. If you're from out of state and you're looking for somewhere different to just kick back and relax, we've got some great spots here in Michigan. And yeah, we do have 4 seasons. I don't know if I would call this past winter, actually call it winter. I think we had about 10 really really cold days, and I think we got I don't think we might have gotten a grand total of maybe a foot and a half of snow the whole winter, but it was one of those deals where it snowed like crazy, and a couple days later it was gone. Um, but yeah, normally we have 4 seasons. We've normally got, for those of you like winter sports, we've got places to go skiing, cross country, downhill. We've got them. Uh, you get far enough up north, usually in the exactly, yeah. It's I don't even think we shoveled down here. We might have shoveled once, and it was just that super heavy, wet, slushy stuff. So I didn't really shovel it. I just pushed it out of the way. Um, I think the worst part of it was driving home from work, because the path I take home from work, they people don't care if the pavement's dry, wet, snowy, icy, whatever. They act like they're at the drag strip, trying to beat a record going down the freeway. But we more ice than that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a couple of pretty scary ice days, but yeah, snow was like almost nothing uh, this year. But up in the UP, you can go up there and see. My thing used to be, until my neck injury, I was a very avid snowmobiler. I'd go up and in the course of a winter, I'd put two maybe 2,500 miles on my sled every winter. And I tell people, I used to get on that sled and I'd take my buddies out riding, and they'd like, what's he stopping for? I'd pull off the side of the trail and just sit back and enjoy the peace and quiet. And then you see. I tell people that's the way to see where the pictures on Christmas cards come from. Or you got the snow on the snow on the branches and the little cardinals sitting there and all that. Because you're like 10 minutes from nowhere out on the trail system, and it's just gorgeous. And you want to see sand. We got the Sleeping Bear sand dunes out on the the northwest part of the Lower Peninsula. Uh, we've got lakes. We've got blue water. Some of it you'll freeze within 5 seconds of sticking your foot in, but Lake Superior. But we've got a rich history and a lot of interesting stuff here. So if you guys ever get a chance to come visit Michigan, definitely do it. So, but yeah, we getting excited because oh yeah, I talked about it before. I'm gonna T-Bird, hey, and I mentioned this. Cranky kind of came up with an idea because this coming weekend is race weekend at Michigan International Speedway, and my redneck hillbilly comes out once a year, and my son's does too, and we're gonna be, he said something about showing off some silver at the track, so we're gonna try to do it. um, and like I said, I'm gonna. Oh, T-Bird, you talking about this one here? This one? That is a 1 pounder from Prospector Golden Gem. Yeah, that's I bought this just because I thought it was different, looked kind of cool to me. Yeah, it's a family run. They've got a mine out there, and what he does is when he's mining for gold and silver, and they put it through the process of pulling purifying the silver, getting the silver out, getting the gold out. They end up with a whole mess of copper. And he even said, he goes, hey, you know what? He said, I figured I'd do some of these. He goes, if nothing else, you can use it as a doorstop, because it's pretty heavy there, And I even joked around when I got it and showed it on my channel originally. I said, hey, it'd be good, good for protecting the house. I mean, that would hurt. So, but here, I'm gonna sit this over here. Yeah, I tell everybody all the time, I'm not stacking it, but I mean, I'm sorry, that right there is cool. That's that's cool, and cool goes a long way in my book, and the fact that, again, like I said earlier, Tuli took the time and the energy and her talent and made that, and pretty much everything that's up here, this stuff, and even this, yeah, it's, the guy hand pours it, and then does whatever process he does. I mean, I'm not I've never even attempted to pour anything because I don't have steady hands, and you got to have steady hands to get that molten metal where you want it to go. And so I live vicariously through everybody else. And everybody took time and effort, to make this stuff. And I mean, and again, this is special because this is somebody that I actually kind of know, and and even this, T-Bird, I don't know if have you ever seen this? Because this, I mean, and this, I mean, if I didn't know, I wouldn't know what this was made out of. But again, that's a talent. That's artwork to me. And Tilly made these out of the aluminum pull thingies from pop cans and all that. And I mean, heck, just putting up with the smell alone, I don't know how she did it. This aluminum is stinky when it gets hot. Uh, but it's, and then I've got my guy that I buy. Yes, aluminum. Yeah, aluminum stinks. But it's like, gee whiz, running away from me here. Um, but it's she took the time to make this, and I appreciate this. She said I never even expected to get it. I wasn't expecting anything in return. It's like, hey, she sent her video. Hey, save me your pull tops, and that's what I did. And I'm working on another run here. Um, but and here, you guys follow. You guys follow T the Silver Stacker. I mean, he did this one. I think I love it. This is something that somebody took time out of their life to create, and I'm happy to have it in my in my stack. And then we got one of my buddy Pure Scottish Silver over in Scotland. Here's a couple of. I always lay this thing down with the logo upside down. Um, but, all right, T-Bird, thanks for popping in, buddy. Here's he hand poured his stuff. 210, what's up? Um, you know, and let's see what else I got here. But yeah, everything there. That's all. That's all hand poured stuff. Somebody actually had to take the effort to make that, and I'm all about it. It's because it's a little more. It's got a little more meaning to it versus Well, let me see here. I try not to look like I'm doing a look at me in the background, but that stuff right there in front of you, the hand poured stuff. I mean, that holds a heck of a lot more meaning to me than one of these. Okay, that's a mass produced. Somebody sitting there pushing a lever on a machine or whatever. That's okay. Yeah, it's a silver bar, but this is all something that everybody took time and effort to creativity. That's a big difference. That stuff means a lot more to me than the manufactured stuff. Pocket change inspector, you are so right. You are so right. But yeah, that just like I said, I got that out of the way early because I had to say something, and I made a comment in return or in reply to the individual that made the smart aleck remark, and but when you type something, you can't hear the sarcasm in it, and I just wanted to put that out there and be like, no, you know what, we're not going to do that here. So, but yeah. Oh, getting back to Cranky says, hey, why don't you show some silver at the track? Because we're going to be out there this weekend, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun challenge to get a piece of silver in the video while we got cars going by us at 200 miles an hour. But of course, some ties back to Michigan. Motor City, Detroit, Motor City. If it's loud and it goes fast, we like to watch it run. And as they always say on television, when they televise the races, in the shadows of the Motor City. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have some fun with it. I know some people are gonna roll their eyes over it, but hey, I'm not worried about it. We're having fun. Cranky will get a laugh out of it. we'll have some fun with it. And but yeah, it's we're kind of getting excited. This is like our well, the last couple of years, this has been like our one, you know, guys weekend thing we get to do every year. So, and yeah, he's getting into stacking too. He's still learning. Um, picks up a piece or two, and yes, they are, and we like to share them too. We like having fun with everybody, and uh, I like I've said before, I'm fortunate that my he never dad never became uncool. It's kids normally get to a certain age and it's like, oh man, I have to do something with my parents. Oh man, do I have to? No, he's a good, I can't even call him a kid anymore. Gee whiz, in a few months he wants dad to take him for his first beer on his 21st birthday. So we're probably gonna do that. And but yeah, he's still, it's like, hey dad, what are you doing this weekend? I'm not doing anything. All right, I'm on my way. So he'll come down and hang out for the weekend. I mean, we're not that far away, but with the price of gas nowadays, and it's about a 45 minute drive between him and me. Driving back and forth would be a pain in the butt, and we've got stuff we're doing when he comes down. Uh, with his work schedule, my work schedule, and then we're usually we're at a lot of Toledo Mud Hens games during the summer and a lot of Toledo Walleye hockey games during the winter, and we haven't gotten to do uh, that much because, like I said, his work schedule, my work schedule, and usually we like to go on the weekend because it's not as crazy trying to drive down there and back. Uh, like right now, uh, the weekends I'm off, the Mud Hens are on the road, so yeah, no baseball for us. And uh, usually, during the week he's working, so and he works he doesn't work as crazy a schedule as I do, but he's got a pretty crazy schedule too. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun this weekend, and yeah, see where it goes. We're gonna and actually, oh, that was something else about Michigan. Um, the Woodward Dream Cruises this coming weekend, and I've never actually gone and sat up there, on the day of the actual cruise because I just, after the line of work I was in and as many years as I was in it, I can do crowds, but when things are done, I like to get out of Dodge, and that's something you do quick over at the Dream Cruise, and but yeah, it's a big classic car cruise that goes pretty much from 8 Mile, goes all the way up into Pontiac and back, and literally they just classic cars, muscle cars. Uh, some people pull out their classic bikes and stuff like that. Uh, they usually kick it off every year with a light and siren show, as they call it, where everybody brings out their antique fire trucks and ambulances and police cars, and some of the police departments will bring out their, I call them the cool cars, and other people call them the entrapment cars. They don't look anything like a police car, but they use them for traffic enforcement. Um, and they do a car show, and then around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, they'll make a run up the cruise route. Making all kinds of racket and scaring the neighborhood with all the sirens and stuff. It's a cool day. Usually it kicks off the cruise every year. That'll be Friday. I think we're going up. As far as I know, we're gonna go up for that. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna have a fun weekend this weekend, and hopefully the weather's decent. we get one of two extremes that weekend. It's either cold and rainy or extremely hot and ugh. So, but let's see. So, um, so anybody got any questions? Yeah, it did too. Like, cause it usually ends up cruise weekend and race weekend are the same weekend, and our 3 day weekend became a 4 day weekend yesterday because they had to postpone the race till Monday. So yeah, it rained and it was kind of chilly too. I've never gone to the track in August wearing a hoodie complaining about it being cold. That was me last year. Um, but yeah, hopefully we get some decent weather this year. If the first part of the week here, in this past weekend is any indicator, it should have a decent weekend. I haven't looked at the weather yet. Yeah, classic, and I still say, yeah, it can get kind of crazy. I mean, it just, yeah, I, a lot of people actually, and there's a lot of people with that same mindset. And you know what they do? They'll go out and just make a couple runs up and down Woodward on Friday just to say they did it, and then they go home and watch it on TV Saturday night. So Bellows Forge, you know what? I have not been fishing since I was a kid. There's a lot. If you like walleye fishing, Lake Erie, which is down by me, Lake Erie is phenomenal for walleye fishing. The Detroit River is really good for walleye fishing too. Yeah, go blue. Wait a minute, Silver Sleuth, aren't you originally from that state down south? Um, the but no, we've got a lot of great fishing. Like I said, I haven't been fishing since I was a kid. Well, I shouldn't say that. I went fishing. I've gone fishing a couple of times as an adult. Didn't catch diddly squat, and but we were out there for fun. We were trying to teach. This is, gosh, I'm on the bad side here. No, Silver Sleuth. Actually, you know what? I'm one of those ones where I I don't have a problem with Ohio. I just have a problem with your college football team once a year. Because I do. I spend a lot of time in Ohio. Again, the sporting events. They've got some, and I'm not a drinker. I do like to have a cold beer every once in a while, and Ohio's actually got quite a few really good breweries. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Derek Jeter's good people. I mean, even if he did play for the, no, I'm not going to call him what we call him here, that baseball team. We've got ladies present, so I'm not going to use the term that we use for the guys in the pinstripe uniforms out there on the East Coast. Um, the But no, yeah, Jeter's good people. He's another one that I've run into him a couple times. Um, yeah, it's I get it. I get it, Silver Sleuth. I had a bumper sticker at one time. Well, you gotta Silver Sleuth. You gotta remember the house I grew up in. It was the Tigers or nobody. The National League team that you rooted for, and I don't know where this came from, was the 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 National League team that was rooted for in our house. It was the Chicago Cubs. I don't know why. Um, but we've got some names for some of the other teams, and I'm trying to be polite. um, it. But it's no. I used to have the bumper sticker. I never actually put it on one of my vehicles that said my two favorite college football teams are the Wolverines and whoever's playing Ohio State. And and then I give a lot of guff to the fans of the Boogers in East Lansing. But actually, I root for Michigan State every weekend except for the weekend that they play Michigan. Um, there's a lot of controversy going on, and there's obviously a lot of people around that still don't like Jim Harbaugh. They're still going after him, and he's not even the head coach at Michigan anymore. Uh, which kind of they've already proven that Harbaugh didn't do anything wrong, but he took the punishments anyway. Uh, he I guess he didn't see something he was supposed to see, and they're gonna go after him, and it I don't know. And I'm actually, for anybody here that's a Michigan State fan, I am really cheering for them to have a better season than the last couple they've had. And, for them to get out from under the controversy that they had to deal with last year with their former head coach. I wish the new head coach and the team well, just not on that one Saturday where they play Michigan. Um, but yeah, and I still, I'm a huge Red Wing fan, win or lose. You know, those, that's my hometown team today, tomorrow, and forever. Uh, you know, we, we had a lot of good years. We got spoiled being in the playoffs every year, and then whatever happened happened. And if Scotty Bowman wasn't in his 90s, I'd say, hey, bring back Scotty, help him, have him clean up the mess. But that won't happen. But it's we're kind of hard on our sports teams. I mean, I remember. Actually, she didn't. My mom didn't say it when the Tigers won in '84. I mean, that was my one Tiger World Series. I was a Red Wing fan. Pocket change inspector. What's your NHL team? Because I know a lot of people root for teams that aren't in their hometown or home state. But okay, yeah, hey, I've got no problem with the Devils. I wasn't real happy with him in '95, or actually, it was one player in particular I wasn't real happy with because he tried to cause brain damage to 90% of our players. We had a lot of players that walked off the ice at the end of the Stanley Cup Finals with concussions. Um, but no, I don't have a problem with New Jersey. I like New Jersey. It's and I mean that actually goes back to before they did that realignment. Somehow the Red Wings ended up back in the Eastern Conference. Because I have my Eastern Conference team, I have my Western Conference team, and and my I've got several. Like I actually want to one of these days if I can ever you know save up the loose pocket change to do it. No, pocket change inspector. You got to remember, buddy. I'm from Detroit. We don't like the other five. You wanna see a colorful crowd at Little Caesars Arena. Uh, have it be a game against the Maple Leafs, the Rangers, the Bruins, the Habs, or the Blackhawks. Uh, well, I would. It can get pretty colorful. So yeah, I'm not the biggest Rangers fan in the world either. Um, I I'm not real fond of the Islanders either. So, uh, I will tell you, as far as road trips go, we we've gone on the road to see the Wings play before. Um, I will tell you that the nastiest fans to out of town visitors. Not in any particular order, but they are Toronto, Chicago, and St. Louis. The nicest, fans that I encountered being from out of town and rooting for the opposing team, and this is the real shocker. Yeah. We went on a road trip to see the Wings play the Flyers in Philly. It was back when, Fox Sports had the game of the week. Tully, my son still has my. I'm aging myself here. Oh, sorry, but I'm aging myself. My son still has my Paul Coffey jersey, or he has my Paul Coffey jersey that still smells like Miller Genuine Draft. Because guy didn't like it that we beat him and beat him pretty good that year, and decided I needed to wear a new cologne called Miller Genuine Draft, and I think still you can still kind of smell the beer in it. They can get pretty nasty down there. I mean, granted, you were in the wrong section. Yeah, I was in Chicago, but that was back. That was back when literally we got down there and we were walking into United Center for the game and looking across the street as they were demolishing the old Chicago Stadium. So that was a while ago. They may have changed, but I mean, just from personal experience, I haven't been to Chicago for a game in years. No, Toronto, Chicago, St. Louis, Philly. Let me get back to Philly because this totally shocked all of us. We were members of the booster club for the Red Wings at the time. I'm not anymore, just because of some things that went on. My son's a member. My ex-wife's a member still. We went to Philly, and this was literally from June to November after the Red Wings swept them in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, 97. We fly in, we get to the airport, we get off the plane. They're there at the airport with signs waiting for us. Everybody had their cars and all that. You know what? There may be some. There may honestly be some. You never know. I mean, hey, now it's not just blue collar or not just middle class and below that's stacked. They may stack too. But yeah, they showed up. They had vans and cars and all that. They took us all over town. No, it's not. I'm not sure exactly what it's made out of. But they treated us like royalty when we were in Philly. They came and picked us up at the hotel and took us to the game and showed, after the game, went out for one of those famous Philly all-you-can-eat spaghetti dinners, and we had a blast. And then they came back and saw us off when we left to come back to Detroit, the next day. So no, Philly, I know they can get pretty rowdy out there. But no, they were good to us. And St. Louis, they can get pretty nasty at times, or of course, times may have changed. It may have gotten better, may have gotten worse. But it's made of silver and a little nickel. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it bends pretty easy. Yeah, I've never been there for baseball. I have been to Kansas City for baseball. Yeah, you guys are getting the old. Okay, here, let me go all the way back. You guys are getting the old Winnipeg Jet, Phoenix Coyote, Arizona Coyotes. As a matter of fact, it's. I kind of chuckle because, Winnipeg, they just let the original Winnipeg Jets go. They go out to Phoenix, and Winnipeg decides they want an NHL team again, so they resurrect the Winnipeg Jets. For the youngsters in the room right now, the Calgary Flames started out as the Atlanta Flames and then moved to Calgary. Then Atlanta decided many years later, decided they wanted an NHL team. So they got the Atlanta Thrashers. They're gone. The Atlanta Thrashers became the new Winnipeg Jets, if I remember right. And then now Atlanta wants a hockey team again. What? It's like it didn't work the first two times. What makes you think it works now? And then I understand that the land of the $10 brownie. Yeah, the Hartford Whalers became the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, that can. I got to come back to the Hurricanes here in a second because it's kind of funny me following my favorite NHL player around the league. The oh gosh, the now they're saying, I read something today that the owner of the Phoenix Suns wants to build an expansion team in the NHL to bring hockey back to Phoenix. And it's like, okay, where were you when the NHL technically owned the Coyotes and were trying to sell it and nobody was nibbling? Where were you then? You know, I actually want to get out to Vegas if I to see a game there. Yeah, I'd probably have to red eye it because I'm not I'm not paying hotel room prices out there, and I hear the tickets aren't exactly cheap for Golden Knights games. But I'd love to see a Vegas game because man, the way they hype up the crowd before the game, holy cow! Now, let's go back to Carolina for a second. Back in 1996, I got a little perturbed with Scotty Bowman and Mike Ilitch and the powers to be of the Red Wings organization because, how dare you trade my favorite player? Well, they sent Paul Coffey to Hartford for Brendan Shanahan. And I tried so hard to hate Shanahan when he came here. And he endeared himself to me the night he clotheslined Patrick Waugh in the fight night at the Joe when all heck broke loose and McCarty took care of Claude Lemieux and Vernon split Patrick Waugh's eyebrow open and it was pandemonium and chaos at the Joe Louis Arena. But they traded Coffey to Hartford. He goes, I don't want to be here. I want to be traded. I want out. I'm not done playing. I still got a couple good years in me. I want out. So they traded him to Philly. Okay, cool. He's not where he doesn't want to be. And then, time goes on, and next thing you know, Paul's in a Chicago Blackhawks uniform. Then he somehow, I kind of lost track of it from somehow. Where did he end up? Oh, look, Paul Coffey's playing for the Carolina Hurricanes. It's like, wait a minute, I thought you didn't want to be there. And he ended up retiring with the Boston Bruins. But no, it's we're a good sports area here. It's we love our hockey. We got some great hockey schools. The kids that want to go to college. We've got some good hockey schools here. Michigan's got a good program. State's got a good program. I will say this though, and they're not a Big Ten school, but I will say this: probably the best hockey school in Michigan is Michigan Tech. But that's you got to be going into like engineering or way up the ladder with chemistry related stuff to go there. Uh, Northern Michigan's got a really good program. Lake Superior State's got a good program. But you know what? I miss Tiger Stadium so bad. I mean, I grew up. My summer weekends were spent at Tiger Stadium. Uh, back when you kid could take $20, take the bus down to the stadium. Take the city bus down to the stadium, walk up to the ticket booth, get a $2 bleacher seat. Walk in. Walk through the turnstile, get your hot dog, your bag of peanuts. A program with the score sheet and a really cool pencil. You were the cool kid if you had one of those Tiger Stadium pencils. And ice cold Pepsi. Is almost as big as you were. You go park your butt in the bleachers, and watch a good ball game, and just have fun. And those days unfortunately are gone. You know, I love my Detroit sports teams, but I'm not a fan of any of their venues. I don't like LCA. I don't like Comerica Park. Uh, if I was about a foot shorter, um, yeah, you know what, Silver Sleuth. Same for the Hazel Park racetrack. You know what, hey, Thule? I forgot about that. I forgot they got rid of that. Yeah, there's literally nothing. That's my old fart syndrome kicking in. I forgot about Hazel Park, and they just demolished Northville Downs, and uh, I actually had an uncle that was a stockholder in DRC out in Livonia. Um, I'm not a Red Sox fan, but the day they tear Fenway down will be sad. Yeah, you know what? I Oh, it is still there. Okay, last time I was by there, they were using it as a parking lot for Amazon trucks. So that's been, oh gosh, that's been a couple of years. Um, the Yeah, I've got it on my bucket list. I got to get to Fenway Park, and I've got to get to Wrigley Field before they get it in their minds that they need new ballparks. Uh, like I said earlier, I've been to a Kansas City Royals game, and I can't remember the name of the stadium to save my own behind, but it was the one that had the big fountain out in center field with the scoreboard up above it. And that was like grade school years. But yeah, I've never been to Fenway. It's definitely on my list, and in Wrigley. But yeah, I just there was something about Tiger Stadium. I mean, yeah, it had obstructed view seats, but it was home. You just, and I know I've made this statement, and people have talked to me, looked at me like I was nuts. Um, there was just, I can still smell Tiger Stadium. When you walk through the turnstile, and you got the hot dog smell coming from one direction and the roasted peanut smell coming from another direction, because they actually still roasted the peanuts right there. Uh, there was the whole atmosphere was baseball, and yeah, and the one World Series win for the Tigers in my lifetime, and the ones prior to, but the one I remember, the one I was alive for was '84. Uh, just that a lot of good memories in that building, and like even talking about sports venues, Joe Louis Arena. I hated that arena. Um, I don't know. Thule can probably vouch for it. What it was like trying to leave. What it was like trying to leave Joe Louis after a Wings game. Oh my gosh, you'd always get somebody in the crowd that would start doing the. It was like herding cattle trying to get everybody out. I hated that building, but I missed that building. Uh, LCA, Little Caesars Arena, that replaced it. They the concept was good. The application not so much. Um, my balance isn't that I was too young to drive. What for you were too young to drive? What when they won the Stanley Cup, or when Joe Louis Arena was still functioning? Um, yeah, Little Caesars Arena. I I don't like it. As the years have gone along, my balance isn't that great. I had some medical issues a few years ago thinking. See, because we always talk about how young you are, and you say you're not as young as we thought you were. I'm just giving Tully a hard time. Fun hard time. Um, First game we ever went to at Little Caesars Arena was a Red Wings game. My son's like, "Hey, Dad, you know what? I don't want anything else for my birthday." But alrighty, 3D. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next time. Um, Wanted to go to a Wings game for his birthday. One of my coworkers, is a season ticket holder. Alrighty, Bellows. We'll see you next time. Um, all he wanted for his birthday was to go to a Wings game at the new arena. All right, cool. I had a coworker that had season tickets. He had something family related going on. It was literally on my son's birthday. He says, "We got something going on. We're doing this, we're doing that." And here, he wouldn't even let me pay him for the tickets. He was, "Here, you know what? Take your son. You got to pay for parking and everything else. Here, take your son to the game for his birthday." So, decent seats, upper bowl. Okay, I'm used to sitting when we had season tickets for the Wings at the Joe. We were like 2 rows from the top of the upper bowl, section 219. Woo woo. And but we get up there and I'm like, wow, something doesn't feel right. So we're sitting there, we're watching the game, and a couple minutes left to go in the second period. My son says, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to run downstairs and do what you usually do when you run downstairs during a hockey game." And he says, I'll grab a couple pops for us on the way back up. All right, cool. Well, he stood up, and this kid's in perfect health, no issues, no equilibrium issues or anything. And I had to grab him because he said he felt like he was going to topple over on top of the people in front of us because it's so steep. The higher you go up in the upper bowl, the steeper it gets. And now that I have a slight balance issue, not happening. I'm not going up there. They changed the season ticket holder seats last season, and you know what, Tully? We gave up ours when they started the shenanigans about yeah, okay, you can keep your season tickets, but you have to also buy into concerts and ice shows and the college hockey part didn't bother me, but it was that you have to buy all this extra stuff that nobody wanted. That's like, well, I don't want any of that. I'll take the college hockey, but I don't want any of the rest of it. Well, no, you have to buy the other stuff too. No, you can keep it, and we gave them up. Um, but I always sit behind the net, shoot twice. Oh yeah. Um, I have to laugh though. I see. I get down. Well, I'm a little irritated with, and I know that this isn't nice, but it's what I call them because it's the way they act. I'm a little ticked at the Illich brats because we lost the Great Lakes Invitational. Uh, they moved all the season ticket sets to the. Why? Why do you want to watch the other? Eh, let me shut up. I'm gonna get colorful here. It's just yeah, the Illich brats do a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. Um, and we lost the Great Lakes Invitational. For those of you outside of Michigan, uh, we have a college hockey tournament every year that was organized, and it's pretty much run by Michigan Tech, the Michigan Technological University. They were the originators of the tournament, and it's usually Michigan Tech, Michigan State, U of M. Last I heard, is still no longer allowed to participate because of their conduct a few years ago. So they usually bring in two other schools, and it's like they play two games the first day. The winners play the next day in the championship. The ones that lose play in the consolation game the next day for third. Uh, that has always been started out at Olympia Stadium, which was the precursor to the Joe, then Joe Louis Arena, then it came over to LCA. Well, now the Illich Brats, as I call them, it's the kids of Mike Illich, the guy that owned the Red Wings. Now they're running the show. Now all of a sudden they don't have time to let them have that tournament in Detroit anymore. So now they play it out in Grand Rapids. Uh, but that was I love the GLI because we could get down lower bowl, $50, $50 for a 2 day pass, lower bowl. Greatest seats in the house. And the one year we told everybody, hey, look for us. We're going to be, Michigan Tech's playing in the championship game. Look for us on TV. Well, my son and I got seats right down below the net that Tech defended for two. And because at the time that was the university he wanted to go to. And every time we weren't even watching the game, we're watching the scoreboard, the jumbotron. And every time the camera came down to our end, we were waving. And I finally get a text message from my ex-wife that says, "Would you two knock it off?" It's like, well, at least we know we were seen. But yeah, I can't. And then I don't know. It just you go across the street there to Comerica Park for the Tigers, and the building just doesn't. It doesn't scream baseball to me. It's not. And the only thing actually, I know I've never been to a Lions game. I'm working on changing that. I kind of shocked Tuli when I said that I had never been to a Lions game. I've only been to Ford Field for Monster Jam when my son was a kid, and that was, all the cool kids were in the Monster Jam. And, if I was about a foot shorter, I'd be perfectly fine in those seats at Ford Field. They're too small. Or maybe it was the fact that the last time I was there, I was a lot larger than I am now. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was gonna try to take my son to a game last year, and that was before we realized they were gonna do halfway decent. And that's it. No, because we'll be all looking for you. We'll be listening to everybody, trying to hear the voice. um, hey, 007, don't apologize. Yeah, not a problem, man. I'll be looking for it. Have a good night. Um, no, like I said before, I've I've never been to a Lions game. And the last time I went to a Pistons game was oh man, they were still playing at the Silverdome. But we'll fix that one of these years. But yeah, I was gonna take Connor last year for his birthday, and I was gonna take him for his birthday, and I was like, holy crap, look, that's like, and I started doing the math about how many hours I was gonna have to work to pay for one ticket, let alone two, and then what they charge to park, and you know, last time I was down there, I don't even think they're $5 anymore, but the $5 hot and ready Little Caesars pizza was like $16, and $9 or $10 for a Pepsi or a Coke or whatever they're selling down there. But no, you know what, I don't want to you know put extra work on anybody, because there's so many people that are mods for like 15 different uh channels already. It's, I don't know, I've got a good group of people that pop in here, for the lives. So if I start getting, you know unsavory people popping in here, I will definitely take care of it. So, we're talking about the Red Wings, it's there. See, we've got our friends that'll sip their choice whiskey while they're doing their channel. Say, there you go. There's an oldie for you, but you need at least three. So far, I'll probably do that in the next one. Probably set up. I don't want to just like randomly, because I know I've been made a moderator on channels, and it's like, wait, what, huh? What? So, but no, I'll probably get into that next time. I'm gonna do a live here next Monday. Just it's, try to have some fun with Cranky because, like I said, he says challenged me to do something when we're at the Speedway this weekend. So we'll see what happens. So, but it looks like I'm coming up on 81 minutes here. So I'm gonna wrap it up because I know everybody. It's Monday night. A lot of people have to work in the morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here for tonight. Some channels make everyone a mod, usually the racing ones, so they know when someone new comes in. You'd be wishing you had one when someone starts posting. Oh, no. We're on it. Yeah, I'm definitely, it'll be happening, the next one. I'll start like poking people, on here so that they can run interference for me. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here for tonight. Thanks everybody for popping in. Pocket Change Inspector, thank you for coming and popping in and saying hi, and hanging out and joining the conversation. Good night, Southeast. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you in the morning with my regular daily look what I got. Thule, thank you. No, thank you. Because you work overtime. You should be getting paid overtime for everything you do for everybody, and everything you do on here for the community and that. Heck, if it, you deserve all the thanks for tons of stuff. So, all right, everybody, we will see you tomorrow with the regular video. Have a great night, everybody. Michi's out.